set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs to win. Whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in folded hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. And we in Tampa Bay, baby. Tell them where you from. 813 going crazy. Yeah.
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is a Monday, July 7th, 2025, and you're watching the Loose Cannons Podcast. I am your boy, the Samar Ali, hanging out with my pale, pasty, barefoot, disease-infested, almost homeless-looking, and sometimes mistaken for a certain homeless person over there by Raymond James Stadium, the one, the only, Stank Bastard. Before we dive into tonight's, what I think is going to be a pretty fucking fun episode, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also leave us a comment on your favorite Buccaneers of all time. You don't have to give me your entire 50, but maybe your favorite Buck of all time. Maybe your Mr. Buccaneer at the end of this episode. And of course, if you don't get to watch us live, you can always listen to us on any of your favorite audio podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. Or you could just go to loosecannonslive.com where you can watch or listen to the episodes directly from our website and also join our amazing free Bucs Discord community. The link is right there on the website. loosecannonslive.com is where you can find all of that. Tonight's intern, by the way, Stank, is not the beautiful vixen, but rather the hairless cat known as Intern Izzy. Something happened to this man's... Izzy, what happened to your face?
What the fuck? Well, let me tell you a little thing about...
You look like a Spanish
life.
Elmer Fudd.
You look like a thumb.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You look like a thumb with glasses and a Bucs hat on. What happened to you, man?
So this is what happens when you try to trim the goatee and you clip a little too close to the edge, and then you just got to start all over.
That's pretty sad, considering you have a barber as a main part of this podcast.
It's true.
Okay, he's basically your step uncle, I guess you could say. Stank,
Right.
From a someone who like you who struggles with facial hair. Can you give this guy a little bit of advice? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen something as scary as when he just logged into the Zoom call here before we started the show.
You know, I don't know that anybody wants to take my advice in regards to grooming.
No.
But I mean, it is looking pretty good today. I do have to say, I get why you thought of me before you, the painted one. My shit looks clean today. I don't know what it is. You ever wake up some mornings, you look thin, you feel thin. You didn't even do anything. You didn't even do anything to deserve it. Today, I feel good today. Feel lean.
Are you describing white privilege? Is that what you want me to answer if I've ever experienced white privilege?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. So it could fall into that category.
Wow, we went there.
Only people of my complexion can wake up feeling good. Is that what you're saying?
The way you said it, where you said I didn't even do anything and everything just fell in line. Yeah,
It sounded like that.
Now that I think of it, Sammer, the birds were chirping. Birds were chirping.
It feels like
Look, the mailman was singing as he came up to my mailbox. I went outside. Hey neighbor, I got a hey neighbor back. It was all white today. I mean, all right today. You're right.
What? Wow. Okay.
Right.
It was all white.
It was all white. Wow.
Speaking of Elmer Fudd, it was all white, Wabbit.
You Wesley
Izzy,
Wabbit.
whatever you got to do, man. I mean, at this point, get a Sharpie during the show and go ahead and just draw it back on, because It doesn't look right.
I know.
really
I don't feel.
I really think
it
you
doesn't
need to do
feel
that.
right to
Yeah,
me.
so
feel
I
naked
want you
without
to
my
leave.
facial hair.
I want you to leave right now, okay?
Yep,
while
go to
I
CBS.
kind of introduce and lay out how we're going to do tonight's show. Find yourself a Sharpie and come back with what you think should be, a makeshift facial hair scenario for you tonight. And then I'll go back, get you back on camera, and I'll let you reintroduce yourself to the podcast viewers tonight. Sound
Sarah,
like a deal?
I didn't know. I know a lot of important people watch this podcast, as
Many.
you and I both know. Famous people.
Much.
But evidently we got a battle rapper that watches this show. Izzy earlier, they were chatting back and forth. I think he's in the chat right now. Loso, I want you to come up with just
a diss rap.
A diss rap.
Oh no!
I think you need a bar.
Don't do that.
Wait. Put Izzy's face on the screen again if you need inspiration.
Don't do this to me.
I feel like we need a battle.
Don't do this.
Roasts for Izzy's face.
Don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Y'all don't understand how deadly Loso is. I've watched this man ever since he started in battle rap, from URL, King of the Dot. His rebuttals, his pen
How
game
did your
is
chin
bar
get
none.
bigger without facial hair?
Bro, like, I'm trying to tell you, I feel naked without my facial hair. It's
You
growing
look-
back though. It's
you
growing
look-
back.
You look like you feel naked. Does that make sense, Stank?
You look like you
it
have.
makes sense.
Your stubble also looks like it's airbrush. Like it doesn't even look like real stubble.
It
It's
looks like you
real.
rubbed.
It's real.
You rubbed some like coal on
Charcoal.
your face or something. Yeah.
You
So,
know,
here's
You
the
look
thing,
like what my hand looks like when I draw with a pencil and I go back over the pen the area that I'd already drawn. You look like a
the
left hand.
shading.
You look like a left-handed artist's left hand. That's literally what you look like on your face right
I
now.
can see that. You know when
Yeah.
people draw beards on their babies, like the 5 o'clock shadow during
Yeah.
Halloween?
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
how you look.
You look
Yeah,
like
I'm
what a
trying to-
white guy would think a homeless person would look like if he was dressing up as a homeless person for Halloween. That's what you look like. They just kind of put a little dust on
Just-
their face.
Welcome back.
Okay.
Welcome back to the shit.
Oh no, I love it.
To
I
the
love it.
program.
Yeah.
I
So
love it. I love it.
Izzy, leave. Go ahead. Find your Sharpie, eyeliner pen, whatever you got to do. Rummage through somebody's stuff at your house there and figure out your facial hair, and we'll go back to you later. Tonight's show is actually a show about the Bucs, Stank. Maybe it might go off the rails at some point, but our
already
goal over the next 3 shows is to hone in on our top 50 Bucs of all time. And although it's a massive list of former players, we thought it'd be fun and a little bit more challenging if maybe we broke it down by position. So this is how we're going to do it. We're actually going to go through a 11 spot roster on offense and defense and fill out 2 players for each spot. So on offense, there actually will be 4 wide receivers. So essentially we're building a first team and a second team on offense and defense. We're going to name our favorite or top kicker, our top punter, if we can remember a name. Other than Grammatica, I really don't know. And then we're going to go through a special teams special player, like a return guy, a guy who plays down the field like a gunner or something like that. And then, of course, head coach, defensive coordinator, and offensive coordinator to kind of finish it off. So tonight's show is going to be offense, Stank. Okay? Tonight's show is going to be...
You lied to everybody. It's not true top 50. But
It's
I like
not...
it.
But it
I like
kind of
it.
is. It's just a different way to get there. I don't think we want to rank 1 to 50 in terms of, the number 1 Buck of all time. I think that's crazy. I think we just need to gather the 50 greatest Bucks and make that the top 50 Bucks of all time.
I think after we do this, I still might go through at the end and rank a top 50. But this is a good
We could do that.
this is a good like starting fucking project to get me ready for top 50 because I spent bro, I was on the toilet for I don't know 145 minutes earlier today,
Mhm.
somewhere in that range.
Sounds right.
Just trying to I couldn't even get past the top 40. It's going to take some time. I feel like I need to talk it out, right? Because there's players on the list that people on my list anyways that I don't know that people even know, right?
Well, I
'Cause
mean,
I'm
yeah,
old.
you're
I'm
old.
fucking
So I'm leaning on you on some of those old sombrero days because I came in towards the end of the Trent Dilfer and towards the end of the Dungy era, right? I was right there. I got to see 1 year in those ugly ass creamsicles. They were mostly white, and then it went to red and pewter. So I was there in '96. So you were there. You were a seasoned vet by 1996, Stank, right? You already knew what this team was about in terms of the depression that you went through from Monday to Saturday, and then being hyped again on Sunday just to be fucking heartbroken yet again. So I'm gonna lean on you on some of that. All right, you're gonna have to really put on your old man coat, get out your quilt, Get out your pipe, Stank. We're going to need you to be the old man of the pod for sure over the next couple episodes, man.
Well, I always say this, man, lean on me when you're not strong,
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that yours?
That's very inspirational.
I think it is. I've never heard anybody say it before. So I don't like to claim amazing things.
That'd make a good song. You ever think of writing that? You ever think of like songwriting, Stank?
What? You don't know that I had a career? Did you not used to see my keyboard clips on Bucking Idiots where I would make up songs? Nobody?
I mean, you were doing live streams at like 12:39 in the morning for some reason. So I don't know.
It would be, just me and 4 people as I was live streaming on Twitch at 4 a.m. You guys don't remember that?
No.
I dare.
I don't think I actually
already know Vixen is like looking it up.
I don't even think I knew you. Remember when I brought you into the red casting couch?
Whoa.
Dude, I do remember that. I was sweating.
Yeah,
I don't know why I was nervous, but I was nervous.
I mean,
I was nervous. It was like a job interview. It was weird.
You should be nervous, honestly.
No, I was nervous for no reason. Come to find out you're a fucking moron. So why was I ever fucking worried? I don't know.
You're literally in a digital space right now that I created. I could just click one button and you're gone forever. I could literally just turn you off.
Like Max Headroom?
No, what that is.
There you go, old people. There you go.
All right, let's dive into this, dude. All right, we're going to start, of course, at quarterback, Stank. So who is the best quarterback in Buccaneers history? I'm curious what you think because you're old, okay? So you got the Doug Williams knowledge. You saw Doug Williams play. You even saw Testaverde play, who I don't think should be on this list, but you do have a special spot in your heart for that man. I saw you meet him for maybe the 3rd or 4th time in your life, but I saw it happen on that golf course. You were crying as a grown man on his shoulder. Also, he's a fucking huge human being, by the way. But also, if anyone who follows Stank on Twitter, which you absolutely should because it's nonsense, you have that amazing, just legendary photo of you as a 12-year-old lesbian child with that shirt on that had the cartoon Vinny Testaverde on it. And it's just amazing. So I'm going to let you start us off with who were the best quarterbacks in Bucs history. I think you're going to say Doug Williams, but I'll let you go from here.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to pick the 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks. Obviously, people are going to be like, how could you ever leave Tom Brady off the list? He's not on my list. All right.
He's not on mine either. Not on mine either. Not here long enough. Sorry.
He wasn't here long enough. Appreciate your service. Appreciate the ring. Appreciate all those things. I can't get mad at people for putting Tom Brady on the list. It feels weird to not have Tom Brady on the list when he played for your franchise. But if I'm putting a top 50 together, it's guys who I recognize as Buccaneers. Mm-hmm. And even though Doug Williams won a Super Bowl with another team because we had a fat piece of shit, racist, just absolutely one of the worst human being owners ever that brought this beautiful franchise to our city. Doug's on my list. I wouldn't be a Bucs fan without Doug Williams. I've told this story in the podcast before, but he's the reason I'm a fan. Him and my dad did business. My dad had a little luggage store in Tampa Bay Mall when I was a child, and my dad and him did business together.
Were you guys gypsies?
We did, bro. We did business, and
it's typically a gypsy business.
I do.
What you just described.
I mean,
did you guys have a wagon with a bunch of trinkets hanging off of it?
No, it was very fine leather goods that we imported from all over the world, mostly through New York. And Doug liked my dad's stuff. So me and Doug hung out. We went to at the time, there was no food court, but probably Villa Pizza. And I didn't even know what football was. I was just a little fat mulleted kid. Had no clue who I was hanging out with. Come to find out, he was quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Doug is my guy. Doug's the reason I'm a Buck. And so Doug is the number 1 quarterback on my list for very personal reasons. And I feel like, had history treated him better, had our franchise done him right, he played his whole career here. We would have had our first franchise quarterback out the box and maybe even won more than maybe won a Super Bowl with the guy. Who knows? Maybe. History would be completely different.
So I'm with you. I can't put Tom Brady on this list. Tom Brady did most of his damage in his career as a Patriot. It was amazing for those 2 years here. The 3rd year, I'm going to choose to forget that year because that was not real. That was not the real Tom Brady. Physically, mentally, emotionally, I mean, all of it. It just didn't feel like Tom Brady. So he only played for 2.5 years in my mind. So that's not long enough to qualify. Sure, he won a Super Bowl. Could have gone back to back had it been a couple of plays and maybe one guy running off the field, in New York, different. But I can't put Tom Brady on the list. But the next one is kind of controversial. So I got to walk you through this, Stank. What do you think? What do you think about Jameis? I'm not putting him on. What do you think about Jameis Winston? Because we got to pick 2 quarterbacks for this list to fully, fill out a 50 players. So 2 quarterback spots. I agree with Doug Williams. It's got to be on there. But who's the other guy? Is it Jameis Winston? He did break and set a lot of records before Tom Brady got here. Of course, he had that crazy 30-30 year. But if you really take a step back, he was the closest thing to a possible franchise quarterback that we've seen in a very, very long time, probably since Doug Williams.
Another guy, statistically the leader, right? In yards and touchdowns and pretty much every quarterback statistic that this franchise has. Mm-hmm. You could argue that Tom Brady won a Super Bowl with Jameis Winston's football team. So, wow. I heard people make the argument he deserves a ring too. If you're one of those that thinks that, maybe you think that Jameis deserves to be on the list. It would be hard for me to argue he doesn't deserve to be on the list. It was a
up and down,
a tumultuous relationship. It was abusive. It was abusive. I mean, that's really the only true way to describe the Jameis Winston era. I loved him, but he hurt me, but I loved him for it in a weird way, and I believed he could be, the one, and he would hurt me, and he hurt. I'm still hurt by him today, and I still love him. It's so weird. Still love the guy, and I'm a Gator.
I'm a Florida State guy, so you know how much I love him regardless. But see, the thing is, I really want to put Baker as that number 2 Buck quarterback of all time, but he's only been here 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling if we do this conversation and say 5 years from now, he makes the list, right? Yeah, but I can't put him on there because he's only been here for 2 years. So I feel like he's maybe a pencil in guy later on. But if it's not Jameis Winston underneath Doug Williams, who is it, Stank? And we can't put Tom in there.
I put a guy on the list. I mean, you're taking Doug as well? So we agree Doug deserves to be.
Yeah, Doug, but who's going to be our second greatest Buck quarterback?
Friend of the program.
Brad Johnson.
I mean, we slaughtered the 10,000 pound gorilla, man.
Yeah.
We got over the hill, Yeah, he had one of the greatest defenses of all time supporting him. But
I mean, he scored hella points in the playoffs, man.
He did. He was the right guy at the right time with the right type of attitude. Also another Florida State guy, oddly enough. Mm-hmm. Just a basketball wizard. Don't play that guy on a horse. You will lose your pants, your money, your pension. You probably end up out there homeless on the street.
So, Stank, if you remember, do you remember when they signed him? And there was I remember feeling a calmness. Like when we had an offensive possession, I was always pretty fucking nervous because I was waiting for the interception, that other foot to fall, the other shoe to fall every single possession. We went through the Trent Dilfer years. We had Sean King there for a little bit. It didn't feel right. And then Brad Johnson got here, and it felt like we finally had a captain on our ship, right? We weren't just out there in the middle of the sea just floating around on offense.
What do you mean? Rob Johnson didn't make you feel comfortable?
Nah. So that's the thing. When they brought Gruden in, first thing he does is go and get Rob Johnson because Rob Johnson could use his legs, and he's got an obsession with quarterbacks who could run back then. And he tried his hardest to give Rob Johnson every opportunity to take that job from Brad. And Brad's like, nah, I'm just steady Eddie. Back then, I believe Brad Johnson was the NFL leader in percentage, in completion percentage back then, right? And this was before the offenses of today, right? So, I mean, I could easily agree with you to put Brad Johnson in there right under Doug Williams because I really don't know who else. Can't put Trent Dilfer in there. Can't put Chris Sims in there. He's been a fucking piece of shit ever since he left here. Who else? I mean, Sean King, no offense.
You can't put the statistical guys on there. I mean, Testaverde's up there. Fucking Trent
Jeff Garcia
on there. Jeff Garcia. No, he was. Jeff was fun to watch. Jeff would thrive in today's NFL.
Yeah, maybe now.
He would. He was a throwback. If you go back and look at Jeff Garcia's tape, especially in San Francisco, and then eventually, here when he kind of played it out, one of the most weird humans ever. If you look at him, it kind of looks like a burn victim in a weird way. Smoking hot wife. It was odd. The whole Jeff Garcia era was odd, but the kid could sling it. He had that moxie, that swagger. He had everything you need. Really mobile quarterback.
Doesn't belong on this list though.
No, it doesn't belong on the list at
So
all.
what about Josh Freeman? Does he enter this discussion? I don't think he does. I had hope for him. I'm just going through the quarterbacks. Really didn't have. It's such a shitty fucking history here.
Such a shitty list. Really is.
And it feels like Brad Johnson just kind of makes it by default. No offense to Brad Johnson, but he did win a Super Bowl. He did finally beat the Eagles in the playoffs. And he looked fucking phenomenal against the Raiders. He was great that entire playoff run, honestly. And then I remember the year after that, he also fucking played pretty damn well. But again, not crazy numbers statistically. Wasn't, in the MVP conversation. I feel like it's Brad Johnson right under Doug Williams, and it's a pretty big gap.
And if you're gonna do it based on numbers, it's Jameis. It's Doug and Jameis. If you're gonna put two guys, and if you want to do it based on credentials, it's Brad and Tom. So you could argue for all four of them being on there. I'd love to know. Oh, Bantry says Blaine Gabbert. It's funny because when I was talking about Brad Johnson, Brad and Blaine were the same guy to me. Good hair, really good hair, right? Kind of had that fucking old 80s kind of just handsome kind of look to them. It's not worth a damn as far as a NFL football player. But yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I'm gonna go with. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go Doug Williams and Brad Johnson. I think the ring has to have some sort of weight to it. It just has to. It has to garner the respect there to just barely squeak him by Jameis. It just has to, man. And you can't do it any other way. I know what Jameis did is pretty crazy in terms of if you look back in the record books, at $1. But Brad Johnson got a Super Bowl. It's got to mean something, right? And so
I'm curious right now in the chat and those who are watching the recorded and those who are listening in their trucks and those people out there on the ocean, on those oil tankers, going across the ocean right now, listening to this show. Those of you who are up in the mountains,
huge segment of our viewership are out there on oil rigs.
Those of you who are getting service on Elon's satellites, wherever you are on this planet, Antarctica, where I think at one point we were the biggest show in Antarctica, and there's no reason we shouldn't be now. I want to hear from you guys. Your top two quarterbacks are going to make a difference here on this top 50 list. So let us know. I'm curious because this is really a controversial one. There's no slam dunks here. Really, you could pick a combination of those four guys, and I don't think you'd be wrong.
All right, Stank. So how about somebody drops?
Hold on. I want to hear from the fucking hairless intern. Who are your top two? Who are your top two?
Top two for me, Brad Johnson would be on the list for sure. I grew up when he was playing. I grew up when him, Jeff Garcia, Jameis.
It looks like you're still growing up.
Testaverde. So I've seen my fair share of the quarterbacks, but Brad Johnson is definitely on the list.
Let's go.
Garcia. It would be between Garcia and Jameis for that second spot, to be honest.
I love
it.
You put Garcia on the list before Tom. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but anytime we can hate on Tom Brady, if it just feels right. I don't know why. It just does. And I'm a big Tom Brady guy. Even before he became a Buck, I was a huge Tom Brady fan. So it just, somebody in the chat says Jameis and Brad Johnson. I guess there's no respect there for Doug Williams. But
yeah, but that might not be. I mean, Navaj, maybe he was born in the 90s. He doesn't know anything about Doug Williams.
If we ask him who his top 50 nose cleaning solutions would be, I mean, it'd be pretty good answer.
I feel like the people who subscribe to this podcast and watch it, there's a lot of anti-Brady fans here. I think that you come here to find your clan, and that's us. I didn't like Tom before he got here, and I still don't really like him, but I love him, for doing what he did. I mean, how can you not?
You gave up sex for a whole year, Stank. So.
I gave up sex for the guy.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Here's my thing. I think the actual answer is going to end up being Baker Mayfield right there next to Doug Williams. So, but we can't put him in yet. So I think at some point that will be the answer. I think we have found a guy. So Now let's move on.
Mudfish Matt says Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on. Best running backs in Bucs history, Stank. So the way this actually works, if correct me if I'm wrong, Izzy, but we're actually going to choose 2 running backs and also 2 fullbacks, or we could go three running backs and 1 fullback. Because yeah, I couldn't
2 running backs, 2 fullbacks.
Yeah, so we could go 2 or 3-1, I think. Only because again, the first name everyone's gonna fucking talk about is gonna be Mike Allstott, right? And I don't traditionally consider him a fullback. So that's why, because he's listed as a fullback, I think that's what holds him back from getting into the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Because although he was a great running back, he wasn't an actual good fullback. He wasn't a great blocking fullback. He didn't do that job very well. Also, I'm trying to think how many actual fullbacks should be in the Hall of Fame. And they're just
how many actual fullbacks had their own fullback? Because he had a fullback blocking for him.
That's what I'm saying. So it's
right.
Weird. He falls in a weird category. Mike Allstott, I know, but he's a running back. But also his running back numbers aren't good enough to get him into the Hall of Fame as a running back. So he's in this weird gray area, right? But we can agree right off the bat, Mike Allstott deserves to be on this list in some way, shape, or form. And I think the best creative way to do that is to slot him in as starting fullback, and let's pick 3 running backs to fill out those 4 slots there on this offense. So Mike Allstott gets the first spot in the running back / fullback division of this little exercise. And curious who you throw in there at running back, Stank. Again, you're old. So yeah. I have an idea of which way you're going to lean here. Feels like we're building an all creamsicle team for you.
It's easy. It's James Wilder. James Wilder absolutely deserves to be on the list. I went to high school with Junior, one of his juniors, not the junior that
we know.
Oh, yeah, whatever. One of his sons. It's James Wilder for sure. I know. Even fucking Jonas put Gene Wilder, which Gene Wilder would make the list if Gene played for the Bucs. Absolutely, Gene Wilder would make this list.
That's the dude from Willy Wonka, right?
That's what absolutely fucking Willy Wonka, dude. Gene Wilder makes this list 100 out of 100 times.
Unpopular take.
He might be number 1 on the list.
I didn't like that movie.
What?
Come again? I didn't like that movie.
Sorry? You're not a Willy Wonka fan?
Nah, that's stupid.
Is it
movie.
Because of Grandpa? Is that why?
It's the Grandpa scene really pisses me off to this day.
For that reason, I understand.
Deadbeat Grandpa. Once his fucking grandson finds the golden ticket, all of a sudden he can walk again. He can get out of bed, not be a piece of shit, not providing for his family. He's the first one up. Throws on a coat over his fucking nightgown, by the way, and just going out there like Ebenezer Scrooge. Let's fucking run. There's a whole goddamn song and dance. Run into the fucking chocolate factory.
But what about Grandma? Like she was also
he left that hoe right there in bed.
He did leave her behind. But,
he couldn't wait, dude. He's like, I'm gonna go fuck some chocolate. Hell yeah. He couldn't wait. Anyway, James Wilder Sr. Is on this list. So we got Mike Allstott. We got Wilder. I think that one's easy. A lot of young fans don't know about him. I had to look him up and kind of watch as I was growing up as a Buck fan to go back and watch some of that stuff. You guys should. A guy absolutely deserves to be on this list. The old heads are all going to agree. Now, Stank, this is where it kind of is going to get a little fuzzy, okay? It's going to get fuzzy. And speaking of fuzzy, how about a certain muscle hamster that comes to mind? Absolute dog when he was here for a very short amount of time. Very short amount of time.
Should have been. He should be on this list.
He could be. We don't know.
No, I mean, he could be, but no.
All right.
No. First of all, he's not going in before Warwick Dunn. And
no, he's not.
And Warwick had a absolutely phenomenal career in Atlanta, and then came back here for a season that I had to remind myself that he came back because I was like, what? That's right. I think he ended his career in Tampa. It was weird. We let him go. Gruden didn't like him for some reason, even though, man, he was one of my favorite Bucs ever. I feel like he just, I don't know. I feel like it ended the wrong way with Warwick. He deserved to win a Super Bowl with this team. The fact that he went to Atlanta.
Yeah, I think it was one of those, we just can't pay the guy, and they ended up going to the Mike Pittman route, and we won a Super Bowl, so no one kind of made too big a deal about it. But yeah, I mean, I think Warwick should be on this list. But how does he stack up statistically to Ricky Bell? I don't know. I mean,
Ricky's another guy whose career. I mean, you could argue he should be on the list, but unfortunately, he tragedy. It just didn't work out, ultimately. And Ricky didn't end up having the career he could have had here. But, definitely one of the greats for sure in the top 3, 4 to 5 argument.
What about, here's another name.
Yeah.
Work done technically took this guy's job, Eric Rhett. Eric Rhett was the go get 3rd and 2, 4th and 1 guy for quite a bit here when they were trying to figure out how to use those 3 guys because they were on the same team at the same time in Dunn's rookie year. I don't know if you recall this, Stank, but
he
sometimes
played on such bad football teams.
Yeah, and yeah, he was still kind of the only good player on the team every single year, right? So does Eric Rhett deserve to be on this? All right, so he's not on this list.
Reggie
Work
Cobb.
done.
There's a lot of guys like that who had some success here. And honestly, they stood out so much. Eric Rhett stood out so much because we were so bad that just any production ended up being great. Hard running back, fucking got better as the game went on. First Buccaneer jersey I ever owned, by the way. It wasn't Doug Williams. The first Buccaneer jersey I ever bought was an Eric Rhett jersey.
What about Cadillac Williams? One of my absolute favorite Bucks, by the way. Just loved saying just the way he ran the ball. And every time he'd get a first down, it was Cadillac, just up and down the fucking living room. It was unbelievable. Didn't play long enough, though. I don't think he played long enough.
Weirdest history of running backs, man. I almost say let's just go Allstott and fucking James because it's hard. As much as I want to put Work done on the list,
we still got 2 spots. Remember, we got 4 total spots between fullback and running back. So Allstott and James Wilder, right? We got running back and fullback there, / running back with Mike. I feel like I could put Dunn on this list. I feel like he represented being a Buck. It was part of that resurgence in '97, the new uniforms, the new era of Bucs football, the return to the playoffs, the win at Houlihan Stadium, the last game played there against the Detroit Lions in the playoffs, then the game he had against the Rams where he was unstoppable, the games he had against so many teams where he looked like Baby Barry, which was like such a great omen considering how much Barry beat the living shit out of us for so many years. And we draft a guy who is a mini version of him. So I feel like Dunn deserves to be on this list, Stank. He just deserves to be on this list.
Put him on the list.
Now we got one more spot left.
He could probably be on Atlanta's list as well, which is weird.
I don't know. I don't think he played there long enough.
He had, I don't know, somebody look it up. His stats in Atlanta were great too.
I don't think they were long enough. People said Fournette, no thanks. Rojo, no.
I know Cadillac Williams.
Again, not long enough.
Martin?
Doug Martin stands out because he had a hell of a fucking run for I believe until last year, he was the last 1,000 yard rusher. If correct me if I'm wrong, Sting. I believe Doug Martin was the last 1,000 yard season until Bucky Irving this past year. So,
oh man,
it's got to mean something, man. I feel like we're forgetting a guy though.
It's weird to put.
We had so many weird guys that just did well, but they didn't re-sign. It was the weirdest. Thomas Jones had a stint.
You got to put Ricky Bell then. Honestly, if you're going to fill that spot, I think it has to be Ricky because I don't feel like Doug or Caddy played enough here, had enough success. Caddy Cadillac had a fucking just an incredible start year. But no, I think it's got to be Peyton Barber. I mean Ricky Bell. You could be
Peyton Barber. Do you remember
Barber?
Who was that guy, the little tiny 43 who played a handful of games?
Also a Gator running back. What the fuck is his name?
And for a little bit we had the Mr. Preseason. Then we had
Ernest Graham.
Ernest Graham. We had so many of these guys that just played for a handful of years, or not even a handful, like 2 years, then they're gone. Then Thomas Jones.
Not really an
illustrious. Thomas Jones is gone,
and
then
you think that Baker is going to be on the list eventually.
Stank, wait, hold on.
Make an argument.
We're forgetting possibly the greatest athlete of all time, Bo Jackson.
Fuck Bo Jackson.
Someone posted in the comment section about Bo Jackson.
Hey, Izzy, I hope you're keeping up with the Excel doc that's going to eventually flush out this entire list.
I am.
All right.
Cool. No. So the way I have it right now, we have Doug Williams, Brad Johnson as QB1, QB2. We got James Wilder, Warwick Dunn. And we have the fullback / running back 3 slot right now. So we got Mike Allstott, and then we're deciding who running back 3 is right now.
You know what? I mean, I'm gonna have to lean on Stank on this one, which I don't like to do because he does smell and he doesn't bathe very often. But it feels like it's Ricky Bell or Doug Martin here, and Doug kind of left in a weird way too. So
Ricky Bell?
you watch him play, Stank. You tell me. Is he a top 50 player for the Bucs?
That's the thing. Like, I was so young. I did, follow the Bucs when Ricky played, but I wasn't like I am now, not even close, honestly. I was still really, really young. So there's a lot of bias there because I didn't follow his career like I did other guys. God, I mean, I'd rather put, and I like Doug now, but I'd almost rather put, I don't fucking know, bro. It's a weird one, bro. It's a weird one. It really is.
I think we just put him in.
I think
there.
we're just settling for Ricky Bell.
So let's.
Is it Bucky? Is it Bucky? Can we put Bucky on the list?
No, we can't put Baker on the list. We can't put Bucky on the list. All right, so let's pencil in right now. Izzy, highlight that slot though on the doc. Let's put in Ricky Bell, and if we go down the line here on offense, and we end up not having a spot for a guy that absolutely deserves to be on it, then we're gonna slash that running back room to a fullback and three backs, or a fullback and two backs, and add another wide receiver to the mix. Sound fair? Okay. I feel like that could eliminate. I feel like Ricky Bell is on the cusp of not being on this list.
Oh shit! I just looked at a list and Gary Anderson for the OG Buck fans, bro. Gary was my guy for a little while. Yeah, bro. You guys aren't gonna remember that guy, Ronald.
So I like LeGarrette Blount, but
LeGarrette Blount
again, not here long enough.
My wife's favorite running back. Oddly enough, she loved LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah, so weird. And so let's move on to the best wide receivers in Bucs history, Stank. This one is I feel like we finally have arrived to a position that is rich in Bucs history, in my opinion. Obviously, right off the Mike Evans, okay? Mike Evans, greatest offensive weapon, in my opinion, in Bucs history. Not even close. He's clearly the best wide receiver we have ever had and maybe ever will have. Who knows what Emeka does, but I see what Evans has done pretty damn difficult to surpass. So Mike Evans is on that spot as a wide receiver. So we're going to go, if we were laying this out as 11, on a field, to be left Y, Y or an X receiver here, Stank. So we got Mike Evans. We got three more spots. Okay. We got a history here. We got Jaquez Green's, again, a stint. Riedel Anthony's stint. Horace Copeland for the old folks who threw up 2 touchdowns in one game on Deion fucking Sanders, by the way. That was like his greatest moment, but not good enough to be a top 50 Buck, right? We got the Joey Galloways of the world.
Yeah, I think you're missing a guy who's here right now that deserves to be on that list.
Chris Godwin.
Absolutely. Fucking Chris Godwin needs to be on that list.
All right.
The offensive list is kind of crazy because we didn't
living
really sustained fucking success, and there's guys like Mark Carrier who I'm gonna absolutely stand on the table for, because for me he was like my first exposure to a real star receiver, because Kevin House was good, but I wasn't watching the games like I do now. And so there'll be a lot of OG fans that want Kevin House, but for absolutely no argument, Chris Godwin deserves to be one of the 4 on this list.
What's funny about this list is that we're kind of living in the golden age of this team's franchise, or this franchise's offense, right? We didn't really have this a long time ago, but I do have to ask about Keenan McCardell. Guy was unbelievable with Jimmy Smith in Jacksonville before he came here and became a Buck, and then he continued to be an absolute stud. Unbelievable Super Bowl performance, unbelievable stretch of years as a Buck. I could put him in that list. How about the guy who brought Mike Evans along and taught him how to be a pro? Vincent Jackson, rest in peace. Okay, there's another guy. Was he good enough to make this list, though? Was Keenan McCardell?
Bad football teams, but he, Keenan McCardell, I put like in the Tom Brady argument. Where I don't feel like
here for a while though.
He was here, 3-4 years, maybe?
I think 4 years, and he was good all 4 years. It was almost like a weird resurgence.
I don't think, obviously I do because of the Super Bowl, but I still think Jacksonville when I think of Keenan McCardell in the weirdest way, because he would
be in their top 50 easily.
Yeah, bro. So it's hard for me to be like, we take him, we put him on. I mean, had he played here for 10 years, easily one of the most talented, guy who just his lunch pail, fucking wasn't a me guy, the antithesis of fucking.
I know, but I'm with Crown,
which is another one.
I still consider Keenan to be a Buck, man, more than a Jaguar. because he was here long enough for that impact. I felt it. Was he good enough as a Buck to make top 50? I don't know, man. I think it's like kind of right there, 50-50. Ike Hilliard was awesome for the Bucks for a little bit, but he was only on, great on third downs, and he was only here for a little bit. Not good enough stat-wise. How about Joey Galloway, Stank? How about Joey fucking Galloway?
Another guy who
kind of in that McCardell.
Yeah, and that McCardell argument. I mean, they had such an impact because we had no stars on offense ever.
He had one play.
Yeah, exactly. We just got a guy who could take the top off. Still to me, him and AB probably the most dynamic receivers we've ever had. And God, I'd like to have him on the list. Vincent Jackson, he deserves to be part of the argument. Because I don't think Mike Evans is the player he is without him. But does that mean you deserve to be on the list? No. I don't know. Mark Carrier deserves to be on this list, even though he finished his career in Carolina and had some good seasons there. I feel like Mark needs to be on that list.
All right, so we've got Mark Carrier, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. We got one more spot technically here for the wide receivers. I'm trying to think back really of some of these dudes that were good for a good stretch. And
damn, Lawrence Dawsey is on the list that I'm looking at, bro. All old school Florida State fans remember Lawrence Dawsey. Dawsey, I because I followed the draft because I was looking for players to save us. I was so excited when we got Lawrence Dawsey, and he ended up having a pretty decent career here. But Julio Jones, Croc said, maybe you could argue that Julio's the should be on the list, and no, definitely not Julio. Kevin House is another guy. I mean, we could pick two older names because Kevin
Keyshawn
put up numbers.
No, not Keyshawn.
In an era where we didn't really fucking have much. So, God, it's a tough one to add to that. God, Sam, I'm going to let you pick. I feel like I've picked the last, with Ricky Bell. I'm going to let you pick the fourth receiver here because there are just so many that are bunched together. They can argue.
Deshaun Jackson.
I don't like Deshaun Jackson.
No, we don't let nobody like.
I didn't like him when he was here.
All right, so
after he left,
you said Mark Carrier. We said Carrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's on the
Mark
list.
Carrier's on the list.
I feel like it's Kevin House. A lot of old heads have always told me about Kevin House, this, Kevin House, that. He always comes up as a name of when we talk about weapons from the creamsicle days. I can't find another guy I want to throw on this list from the alarm clock era, from the Trent Dilfer era, and from the Tom Brady Baker era that we haven't already listed that deserves to be on this list. Could some current guys be on this list one day? Maybe, sure. I mean, we have a couple of dogs. They're really young right now.
I mean, it's a different list if we're drafting players, right? Absolutely
different list.
100% because you're taking AB, you're probably taking Galloway over Carrier. If we're doing like all fucking fantasy list, which would be a fun list to do, those guys, I mean, AB should be, if he wasn't, and he probably still will be a Hall of Famer. It's going to be the weirdest.
So I think it feels right to go modern era and old school, tip of the cap. So we'll go House, Carrier, Godwin, and Mike Evans for the wide receiver room. We've got a first team and a second team with these four guys. I think this is a pretty solid room there. Unless you have anyone else to add last minute, Stank, I believe that is it. I really thought Michael Clayton would be on this list when I was younger and watching him play, but he just did not get to that list, man. He just did not make it. I thought Aurelius Ben would be on this list when I was a kid. I mean, why not? Mike Williams. How about Beard Gang? Dude should have been on that list.
Brother. So many guys who were going to be the guy, right? All Michael Clayton, all those guys. You're like, we're finally going to get that super. Mike Evans,
Maurice Stovall.
How about we had so many guys who we thought were going to be Mike Evans before Mike Evans, and now that we have a Mike Evans, it's like, all right, compare Mike Evans to any of the guys on this list. No disrespect,
it feels unfair now.
It's not none of them deserve to be in that realm. And Chris is going to put up, crazy numbers, especially if he finishes his career here and is able to bounce back from that injury. Because him and Baker have a crazy chemistry. We can talk about the season this year, and we will talk about what Chris could be in this offense and what he was, during the first half of the season last year. It's going to be nuts if that guy stays healthy.
Yeah. So the next position, the tight end room. All right, this is a favorite position for us, Stank. Yeah. I love a good tight end. It's one of my favorite things, actually, on the football field. Is a nice, a nice, productive and efficient tight end. Tight end with good hands and a knack for getting those hands on balls. All right. Now, this is going to be a more of a funny one, but I feel like Dave Moore should at least be something we talk about. Just fucking because it's Dave fucking Moore. And he's now the fucking play-by-play guy on the radio. He was here through so many shit fucking years. He caught the most uncomfortably high overthrown passes from Trent Dilfer and had just these weirdo touchdowns almost every week. Obviously, he doesn't deserve to be on this list. Tight end is a weird position, Stank. I can't put Gronk on this list either because of the same thing with the Tom Brady conversation. So everyone in the chat keeps saying Jimmy Giles. Is it Giles?
Yeah, Jimmy Giles.
And that's that's your time.
It's a slam dunk. Like, you put him in. He's on the list. He's on the list. Absolutely on the fucking list. Jimmy Giles needs to be on that list. Creamsicle Bucks didn't have many stars. He was one of those guys. He would fucking destroy in the modern era of football. It's Jimmy Giles for sure. There's the rest of them, man. Dallas Clark.
I mean, you could argue about Cam Brate. You could really make a legitimate argument about Cam Brate.
Absolutely could argue that Cam Brate
was very dependable. I mean, great hands. Also, I don't know if you knew this. He went to Harvard, so that's a big thing.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he's a fucking smart guy.
No.
Big brain on the football
Harvard
field.
A football team? What?
Apparently, yeah. And I want to say he was the best tight end for a good stretch of time here, and extremely underrated. But I'm trying to think other guys. They just didn't play long enough. We didn't give them new contracts. Any of them. O.J. Howard of the world, ASW, Safarian Jenkins, sorry, ASJ, not ASW.
ASJ, who evidently shit on a cop car?
Shit in a cop car, on a cop car. I don't know how it went down. I don't remember that for some reason.
For that alone, he deserves to be on the
honorable mention for sure. Yeah.
I mean, what about Kelly Winslow Jr.? We're talking about what they did off the field, right?
Yeah.
What that guy did off the field.
Top 50. He makes the top 50 off the field list, right?
Yeah.
The off the field top 50 would be. We got to do that as an episode.
Jeremy Stevens. Anybody remember that fucking weirdo?
God, dude.
Yeah, bro. We
had a guy beating women, right? And then we had another dude jerking off outside of Target using lotion that he just bought at Target in his car, right? Then we got a guy shitting on a cop car. Okay. I mean, the just absolute nonsense and shenanigans that the tight end room alone has gotten itself into. Pretty fucking wild if you think about it. Pretty fucking, like, those three, if they had met somehow together at the exact same time, Stank, what would have happened? The world would have imploded. The universe would have imploded. It would just sucked itself in. Those three tight ends.
It wouldn't be good. I can tell you that right now. Would not be good. I mean, are we disrespecting Kate Otten? Is he even
not here long enough? We don't know yet. We don't know. Man, I'm trying to.
Go back to Dave Moore, because you start off with Dave Moore.
He's a good blocking tight end. Okay,
tight end, one of the voices of this team. He carries with Mean Gene, right? I mean, doesn't that count for anything?
He needs to clear his throat. But once he does do that, eventually, I think he'll be. Could he be the next? Could he be the next Gene?
I don't know.
Tough.
Because I don't think there is a next Gene. I don't think.
So
I think it's Brate.
I think it's Brate.
Or we just break all of our rules and just put Gronk in there, because it's
no, I can't. I just can't. I can't. We had 2 tutties in the Super Bowl. I get it, but so did Tom Brady. I think it should be Cam Brate. I'm going through these guys in my head. I'm just thinking he was a good fucking tight end. He was good. He was very good. He earned that. He earned it. He also caught the Lombardi, Stank, on the boat.
For that reason alone.
I mean, right? He's in. So that's it. It's Giles and Cam Brate for tight ends. We don't have a single guy on this list that can block up front on the tight ends position, but it's okay. It's okay.
Blocking's overrated anyways.
I don't know who Ron Hall is. He says Paris says Ron Hall. He had Vinny and DeBerg.
Yep, Ron Hall was a quality guy. It's just not sexy, but serviceable, did his thing.
You like serviceable.
Serviceable gets it done. All right. Yeah, you might like big and blustery. right? You might like to come out strong and just, be all world and disappear. I prefer you're there every day. All right. You're accountable. I can count on you. And Ron Hall, just the name alone, if anybody here knows a guy named Ron Hall, that guy is good at whatever he does. HVAC.
Yeah.
Ron
HVAC. I was about to say HVAC. That's a guy's name. You see Ron Hall on the side of a van. 100% in your neighborhood at least twice a month. That's Ron Hall.
Legally. You want a guy named Ron Hall representing you, bro. You just want that.
Ron Hall plumbing. Ron Hall painting.
Absolutely Ron Hall plumbing. For sure.
Ron Hall heating and air. Ron Hall restoration.
Ron Hall restoration.
I mean, Ron Hall roofing. I mean, that sounds natural right there.
Shout out to Ron Hall.
Yeah, dude. You know what's funny? I bet you his post-career life included something like this, some sort of service industry niche.
Listen, we got another old head in the chat, Greg DeCruz. Everybody knows Greg. Flexing on him. Ty J Armstrong. It might be a little fucking, nobody name to you guys, but we believed that Ty J was going to be a Hall of Famer. It turned out he was not good at all.
All right. So then it is Cam Brate. And now we move on to probably the longest discussion, Stank, of this show, the offensive lineman. Okay. So we've got which is weird because if you think about it, we've never really before this era currently had a really great unit through any one of the eras, but we've had really good individual guys at different spots, right? And so let's start on the left side, left tackle, okay? And obviously Tristan Wirfs, obvious, okay? We're going to pick two for each of these spots. So Tristan Wirfs in, we don't even have to have a discussion about this. We already know this guy is going to be a Hall of Famer, okay? But let's go back to the Donald Penn days of football here, Stank. And that man was a sloppy fat guy. Okay, I love a sloppy trench player, but the dude did his job. He was such an absolute dog during the shit of Bucs fandom and Buck play, but he was such a fucking lunch pail, beat your ass, don't touch my quarterback, sloppy motherfucker. And I believe he should be on this list.
Yeah, weird head.
He did everything about him was weird. He carried his fat on his knees, but he was a great fucking left tackle.
He had a weird beard, a weird face, weird head. He had swagger. Tell you that right now. Talk shit to Donald Penn, you might get punched in the face.
Oh, he'd fuck you up in a barbershop.
Yeah, fuck you up, bro. It was one of those guys that absolutely deserves to be in the argument. But let's pick the low hanging fruit initially, okay?
Wait, before you do this, hold on. I have to clarify because if I remember correctly, Paul Gruber played tackle and guard, or did he play tackle only?
Tackle.
He was a left tackle?
He was left tackle.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead. I may have just kind of stolen your thunder a little bit, possibly, but I don't know where you're going with what you're going to say.
Yeah, and you know what? The fact that Tristan could go to the Hall of Fame at either tackle position, it honestly makes it easy. You could put Tristan on the right. Paul probably could have played left and right too.
So did we have a great right tackle in our history? I'm trying to think. I remember we had a Jeremy Trueblood.
Kenyatta Walker.
Kenyatta Walker was terrible. He was also a left tackle too.
DeMar Dotson. I mean, DeMar. No. Say what you want about DeMar.
Overrated. Absolutely overrated.
Nice guy though.
Yeah, great story. I mean, not having shoes to play in his first camp, like a tryout, all that. Great story. Sorry, he's not on this list.
That's why I love him, because he should have been able to play barefoot. But because we live in a society, right, where you have to wear shoes on the football field, they made that guy go get some shoes made because that's how big. You know what they say? You know what they say, right?
Yeah. What do they say, Stank?
Size of the feet.
Big socks.
That guy deserves to be on some lists. Okay.
All right. So let
me make shoes. Then he makes shoes that fit him. That's all you got to say.
Should we slide Tristan Wirfs over to right tackle in order to make the best 10 guys here?
Yeah, for sure.
So we got a Donald Penn and a Paul Gruber. Paul Gruber obviously being number one here at left tackle. And then Donald Penn underneath him.
Underneath him, Donald Penn. Yep. And then Tristan at right. And then after that, there's really
you could argue Luke Gedeke at that point, right? He's been pretty damn good. Also, he hasn't been here long enough. I'm trying to think right tackles that were worth a damn. I want to put Luke Gedeke on there. He's going to get a second contract. But here's the thing, too.
Let me see if I can get a more comprehensive list of right tackles. Because I'm sure I'm missing somebody.
I feel like we're missing a guy that did okay.
Jerry Wunsch.
Yeah. No.
Jerry Wunsch.
Yeah, we got a lot of those guys in that era. That Mayberry's the.
Mayberry. Tony Mayberry's not a. Tony Mayberry's a guard.
Oh no, he's a center and / guard too. No, I'm saying those guys in that Mayberry era that I remember. What about Stussy? Did he not play right tackle for us?
Did he?
And I believe we had a Roman Oben on this team for a little bit.
Listen, DeMar Dotson, 106 starts. Longest tenured right tackle.
That doesn't mean he's a great. That doesn't make him a great. Just because he played a lot of fucking football during a shitty era of football. I mean, we could throw in my boy fucking, what's his name at this point? Caleb Beninock. What are we talking about? That doesn't mean anything. Man,
it's tough because I think Luke already. No, bro, Luke has only played 2 seasons there.
He's about to enter his 4th year. He's about to get paid. Tristan Wirfs is on the fucking list. He's 1 year before him.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. If I had to choose somebody right now,
I think it's Luke Anike.
I think it might be Luke. That's
I'm trying to think who else. I mean, go back to the Gruden Super Bowl.
To me, it's DeMar or
Roman
Luke.
Oben was on that.
Yeah,
Roman Oben was on that. Was he the right tackle? No, I believe he was a guard or left tackle. Okay, so see, there you go. So I can't see a scenario where we don't put Donald Penn on here. So I like Paul Gruber and Donald Penn on that left tackle slot. Yeah, and you put Tristan Wirfs at right tackle. And you put, I mean, could we turn Oben into a right tackle?
I think you're disrespecting DeMar Dotson. Honestly.
I don't think I am. I don't think he was great. Did he ever make a Pro Bowl?
Roman wasn't here that long either.
Did he make a Pro Bowl?
DeMar?
Yeah. Did he even get considered for a fucking Pro Bowl?
No.
He played during a shitty era where we had no offensive line.
So many reps where he was bad too. That's the crazy.
He was so bad, dude. Come on, you can't put him on this list.
All right, yeah. Give it to Luke. Give it to Luke. We're putting Luke Gedeke on the list.
He's on the list. I like it. All right, now let's go to left guard. Left guard, I believe it's got to be. Oh man, his name I just had a brain fart. Holy shit, the kid out of fucking Oklahoma. What's his name?
Dalvin Joseph.
Dalvin Joseph has to be number 1 left guard of all time here for the Bucs.
We had some pretty decent ones. I mean, Logan Mankins, Randall McDaniel.
Yeah, Logan. I put Mankins in there, but he wasn't here long enough. Again, Randall McDaniel, I believe, was here long enough, Stank, and that would be the guy I'd put in right under Joseph.
He played most of his career in Minnesota.
I know, but when he came here, he immediately transformed our offense into an actual offense. He was in the Super Bowl. He had that ridiculous stance. He was very good for the Bucs. Very, very good.
Are we doing 2 left guards, 2 right guards, and 2 centers?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
So and so we've also got Jorge Diaz, a dude from that era. Jorge. I don't think he's good enough to be there though. But Randall McDaniel and Davin Joseph have to be left guards. I don't want to say Jeremy Trueblood for right guard because of how many holding penalties he had. But I'm pressed to find. I don't want to put Cody Mock in there. I don't think he's good enough yet. Stank. We've completely forgotten about Ali Marpet.
No, we didn't. No, Marpet's on the fucking list.
Left tackle, right or not tackle? Sorry, left guard or right guard?
Left guard. He could play either. He could play center too. You could put him anywhere. No, he's the number 1 pick at that position to me over Davin Joseph. For sure, it's Ali Marpet.
All right, so Ali Marpet, Davin Joseph right there is left guard. Or should we just slide one of them over to right, and that's our tackle spot? We need to build our top 5 offensive line.
You could flex him. He's not going to go at center because Tony Mayberry and Ryan Jensen are going at center.
Yeah, Ryan Jensen is
Ryan Jensen 1. And Tony Mayberry centers.
Yeah, write that down, Izzy. It's Ryan Jensen, Tony Mayberry at center. I could argue Jeff Christie for a little bit too, same as Randall McDaniel years.
It's Marpet and Davin Joseph
as the starting guards,
right? And then
behind him, let's put in. Who did we say? Sorry, Randall McDaniel.
What about Logan Mankins?
And Logan Mankins. I think those 2 right there. I think that's what that's
Jeff Christie though.
I know.
What about Jeff Christie?
That's our center.
I know.
Oh
but
no,
we already
we
got two
did
centers.
Tony Mayberry. Yeah. Okay, take Mayberry off that list. Jeff Christie's a better center. Jeff
he's
Christie's
not.
a better center. He won a Super Bowl.
He did, but Tony
And he
Mayberry,
was no. He go ask Brad Johnson how fucking good Jeff Christie was.
ask Brad Johnson. Tony Mayberry is better than Jeff Christie.
No, Jeff Christie came from the Vikings' amazing offense to us. Him and Randall McDaniel came together.
Tony was a Buck for life, so it's Tony.
I don't know,
Greg.
But he wasn't great. But he wasn't great, Stank.
He was.
No,
it was
he
just
wasn't.
an era. It was an era where he got
Jeff Christie was a Pro Bowl guy, an All-Pro type dude. Tony Mayberry wasn't. He made one Pro Bowl, I think. The year that Trent Dilfer blew up in '97.
Because that era was bad football. But Tony and Gruber were the best players on that team. Period. Like those two.
All right. I'll give you Mayberry. That's fine.
It's Mayberry.
So it's Jensen, Mayberry. Okay, left guard is gonna be. Fucking forgot already.
Marpet and Davin.
Marpet and Davin are our starting guards,
right.
Left or right, and then underneath them we'd throw in
Logan Mankins and Randall McDaniel, I guess.
And Randall McDaniel, yeah. Randall McDaniel was fucking good, dude. He was good. Y'all remember? Y'all don't know about Cozy Coleman. Good run blocking motherfucker, dude, from Tennessee. That was a dude, but
Jorge Diaz, Aaron Sears, Ted Larson, Frank Middleton.
Not good enough. I like Middleton, but not good enough. I think Randall McDaniel was very, very, very good for the Bucs.
Yeah, I agree.
So that
it was a Pro Bowler in Minnesota. Like that guy
the whole offensive line was. Him and Christie played next to each other for years there, and then they came here, played next to each other here for years, and they won a Super Bowl. Not Ian Beckles. No Ian Beckles. What are you talking about? Dude had a better career on the radio than he did on the football field, and that says a lot because, I don't know what these people are just yelling out names. All right, Izzy, you got the line down? We kind of went all over the place there.
I'm not gonna lie, like I was following you guys, but you ping ponged so much off that like left guard, right guard, center position.
All right. Left guard, Davin Joseph. Okay. Right guard, right guard, Ali Marpet. Okay.
Oh fuck! Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so Ali Marpet goes right guard. Okay,
yeah.
Give me 1 second. Okay, so and Randall McDaniel, does he go left guard as well?
Yeah, put him in left guard. Fuck it.
Okay.
And who's the other guy staying?
Okay.
I just forgot.
Logan Mankins.
Logan Mankins. Those guys didn't play very long here, but I feel like they had impact and they were very, very good.
Where was Mayberry at?
Center.
Okay, Mayberry was center. So we're taking out Jeff Christie then?
No, it's Ryan Jensen and Tony Mayberry.
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah, I know Tony. I know that Davin played right guard. You want to put him in right guard or left guard? It doesn't matter. We'll flip him if it makes any sense. Who cares?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
My bad.
So put Davin at right guard and put Ali Marpet at left guard. Sorry, Izzy.
Okay.
That's way it's more true to their position, and I believe that gives us a very good starting five and a good backup five.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. So I got Randall McDaniel, Ali Marpet at left guard. I got Ryan Jensen, Tony Mayberry at center. We're gonna go.
Ali Marpet needs to be the starter, buddy.
Okay, so
flip him and
Marpet's the center, and then
no. No. You said Randall McDaniel over Ali Marpet. It's the other way around.
Them. So I'm switching them around. I'm switching
Ali Marpet over Randall McDaniel. Thank you.
Who are you putting on the list instead of Randall McDaniel? Because there's not a whole lot of options, honestly.
No, there's nobody else who's better. That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but he was very good when he was here. He deserves to be on this list.
Bro, my boy Jerry Wunsch played here for a long time. Why are you hating on Jerry Wunsch?
He was not good, dude. I mean, if at that point we should just put Cozy Coleman in here and Kenyatta Walker. And what are you talking about, dude? Come on.
Hey, Kenyatta Walker, Super Bowl ring. He's got Super Bowl.
So does Cozy Coleman. He was a starter in that game. Oh my god, dude! When they got him, I was so excited. I was like, "Fuck yeah, we got an absolute beast on the offensive line." I was so excited for that dude, man. He wasn't bad. He just wasn't great either. But
this is so much harder than I thought it was going to be.
I told you it's not as easy as you think. And that's why I thought breaking it down by position would make it a little bit easier to digest and think about, right? And
This just shows you Young Buck fans, how bad this
how
franchise.
bad?
We're 50, bro. This is 50 years.
50th
We just
anniversary.
can't find. It's hard to find two guys at certain positions because of how bad this franchise was.
Okay, so let's run this one more time.
Oh
So
my God.
Ali
Worst
Marpet,
interns in the
Randall
business.
McDaniels, right?
McDaniel.
So
But yeah.
okay. Ali Marpet, Randall McDaniel, Ryan Jensen, Tony Mayberry, right guard. Y'all bounced so much off that
Gavin
one.
Joseph.
Okay, Davin Joseph was one of them. I remember him, but who was the second one again?
Logan Mankins.
And Logan Mankins.
Logan Mankins. There it is. Okay. And then right tackle, Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gedeke.
And left tackle.
Right. Left tackle, we have Paul Gruber and Donald Penn.
Hell yeah. I like that list right there. I like
We
that.
have
So
We got a
go-
decent history at center though. Jeff Fain, John Wade, Christie.
Oh, dude, I forgot about Fane. Holy
Yeah.
shit. I liked Fane too, man. He was the Chris Hovan of his time on the other side of the football.
This is a break says the 50 is easy for me. Yeah, if we're just doing the 50 best where we don't have to, we can pick 7 receivers and one, right.
Yeah, but even when we went through the receiver stank, none of the other guys really deserve to be on the list.
Yeah, you're right. It would still be difficult, but I feel like there's certain guys that wouldn't, like Logan Mankins wouldn't be on the list. There's certain guys that wouldn't make it if we're just doing a straight top 50, which I will be doing. We should do at the end
do that.
Our own individual top 50s. And certainly some of these guys aren't going to make that list. Randy Grimes, yeah, man, that's another OG name.
Yeah. So the next episode, we'll do the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll go through those 11 positions. They're going to be a little bit difficult because outside linebacker / middle, strong, and, weak side linebacker, edge versus defensive end. Then you got nose tackle / defensive tackle / inside defensive lineman. There's a whole mosh pit of how we could fucking break that down, Stank. It's going to be a little bit more hectic than what we just did tonight, but I think it'll be
give us the list. Give us the list top to bottom, starting at quarterback.
all right, here we go. So QB1, we got Doug Williams. QB2, we have Brad Johnson. Running back 1, we got James Wilder. Running back 2, we got Warwick Dunn. Fullback, Mike Allstott. Running back 3, Ricky Bell. Wide receiver 1, Mike Evans. Wide receiver 2, Chris Godwin Jr. Wide receiver 3, Mark Carrier. Wide receiver 4, Kevin House. Tight end 1, Jimmy Giles. Tight end 2, Cam Brate. Then we got left tackle, we got Paul Gruber and Donald Penn. Left guard, we got Ali Marpet and Randall McDaniel. Center, we have Ryan Jensen, Tony Mayberry. Right guard, we have Davin Joseph, Logan Mankins. And then right tackle, we have Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gedeke.
Hell yeah. We're scoring a lot of points with that, Stank.
That's a hell of an offense right there. That's a good one right there.
Samer, question for you. Jameis making your top 50?
If it's just straight up top 50?
Top 50.
Yes.
Yeah, he's making mine too.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you can deny what he did when he was here, although it was up and down and roller coaster-esque, and he still put up fucking numbers, dude. And if you look at the history of the Bucs, maybe on other franchises he doesn't, but for us, up until the moment Tom Brady arrived, he was the best quarterback in our history.
Yeah. Well, outside of Doug, probably.
Numbers-wise, he was the best, Stank.
Oh, numbers-wise. Yeah,
he was by far the best.
Yes, correct.
Could some of that be because of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Maybe. But also, he just sometimes...
And Vincent Jackson.
Yeah, but he also made some fucking plays.
They were the perfect receivers for him.
He was frustrating to watch because he was so good and could be so good, but then other moments he'd be so fucking bad at the same time. But if you were to just look at him from a pure talent standpoint and what he put up numbers-wise, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, he'd be on my top 50. Also, tomorrow, Gerald McCoy, the conversation is going to come up. So that's going to be... So all the Gerald McCoy lovers in the chat and watching / listening to this show, be ready, because the next episode...
Why didn't Gerald do it with us?
Bring Gerald on here?
Text Gerald and say, Gerald, listen, bro. I know it's going to be awkward, but we embrace that here on the Loose Kids podcast. Come on in, dude. All right? Come on in.
Oh, what? Is he here?
I can't do
Gerald
it as good
McCoy
as Latte.
on the show.
I wish Latte would
That's
call in right now.
nuts.
Latte could call in as Gerald McCoy. That would be good.
He could.
I don't know if you guys saw the announcement. Latte said he back. He back.
Latte is coming back
he's been
before training camp.
He's
He's
shitting
been
all over
teasing.
the interns.
He's been teasing it for a little bit. So, you know, I mean, hopefully. Absolutely. And yeah, he is going to shit on the interns because that's what the intern. You know, we have no offense to you know the hard work that Vixen does put in behind the scenes, but we have two of the worst interns in the history of podcasts.
I love it.
Right?
I love them.
It feels like they're your children, Stank. They're just not all there, right?
You know
we
what,
give
bro?
them the floor to make an announcement at the end of each show. They just dribble up on themselves. They just can't make it happen when they get a chance.
You know what would be terrible? Worst case scenario, a intern who is good on here. That would make me look awful.
Yeah.
Right?
Is this by design? Is this
no
by design?
Fucking way. No way.
You do that on your own pretty damn well, for being honest, man.
You know, I mean, I do my best, Sammer. All right.
Hey, speaking of interns, if you guys want to meet these fucking terrible interns of ours, they will be going to Seattle. They will be going to Seattle with us for this year's Loose Cannons travel destination. We will be invading Seattle in October. It is going to be phenomenal for week 5. We have 2 and 3 night packages still available, by the way. Closing up fast. We only have a few spots left. Includes a VIP 4-star hotel down in the heart of Seattle where you are walking distance from everything. Okay. It includes the entire hotel stay, whether it's 2 or 3 nights. Okay. Also includes a VIP Saturday night party where people like Jason Light show up. Or in Dallas, we partied with Warren Sapp. All right. You never know who's coming.
Yeah, we did.
And it includes drink and food, and you can obviously order more than that as you want. And of course, if you are part of the 3-night package, you also get a Saturday afternoon stadium tour with us only, a private Loose Cannons event where they tour us through enemy territory. It's pretty fucking fun.
What happened in KC last year?
KC, we shit on every corner of that stadium tour, and at the very end, we put the cherry on top when Stank put his bare feet in Patrick Mahomes' actual locker, which was then, justified later on in the Super Bowl when he told, they choked, okay, in front of the entire world because of Stank's foot. So that's something that just there in itself is worth the price of admission.
There's no getting that out of that locker, by the way.
It's there forever. Yeah, I know.
That's after I was barefoot in the entire stadium. That wasn't a fresh foot.
You brought in Blackfoot basically right into that locker. It got worse as the night went on. We have photo evidence of how bad.
I had parasites after that trip, bro. I wasn't doing good.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it includes Sunday morning, an absolute all-you-can-eat, all-inclusive, okay, tailgate before the game. And, of course, our asses in the lower bowls. You get a lower bowl ticket with your package for every person in the package, by the way, to the game itself against the Seattle Seahawks. And, yes, if they, for some reason, decide to wear the white creamsicles, I will don a white creamsicle jersey to the game. I might still do it anyway because I'm feeling fucking festive. But, that could change. It is summertime right now. It's a little bit different. Stress of the season might change my mind. Unless they are wearing them, then I will match them on the field. And so all of that is included, Stink. All of that is included. And remember, when you book a 2-person package, means 2 people are in that room. A 4-person package means 4 people are in that room. You could split 2 beds, or you could fucking all sleep in one bed if you really want it to be weird. But it's up to you. Or you could do 2 people in a bed, 2 people in 2 separate beds, whatever you want. But just keep in mind that the number of people is per occupancy. And that's all found on bucksawaygames.com or loosecannonstravel.com. Make sure you guys check it out. Get in there now while you still have time to actually sign up for a payment plan so you can kind of pay this off. We don't have to have our final payments in Stank until September 7th. So keep that in mind.
Put it on layaway.
Or get it as a gift.
Who else is
Father's Day.
going to allow you to go to Seattle on layaway? Florida man invades Seattle. It's going to be weird. It always is, which is the reason people travel with us, because there's other places you could go, other people you can go. Trust me, it's fucking boring. You want to go with the boring crowd. You want to go and whatever. Feel free. You might get yelled at Sammer. Sammer yells at everybody. I like, I get a little weird.
Don't step on my shoes. Don't step on my shoes. I won't yell at you. It's pretty simple.
You're going to get roasted. You're going to get shamed. All those things are going to happen. I'm going to get weird on when there's no bus this time. I'm going to get weird everywhere. So join us.
Also, before I forget, you make sure you guys go to loosecannonslive.com and check out the membership tab, which links you to our absolutely free Bucs Discord community. But also within that, there is a paid membership side of our Discord, which we call the Cannon Cartel. And if you are a paid Cannon Cartel member, okay, not only do you get some cool perks coming up throughout the season, but you will also be the first in line to join our fantasy football leagues, which we are putting together here very, very shortly. So if you want to play fantasy football against us and other degenerate Bucs fans and loose cannons like ourselves, make sure you guys check out the Discord channel and join the Cannon Cartel. It's $4 or no, it's like $3 a month. Okay, there's going to be a ton of cool perks in there, behind the scenes stuff, and member only episodes where you guys get to see some of our shenanigans over the next, I'd say, about 30 days as Stank and I go out into Tampa and get ourselves into a little bit of trouble, where you guys will get to watch those episodes before anybody else and before YouTube gets to see them. Make sure you guys check that out. And I believe that's everything that most of my most shows interns would say at the end of a show, right, Stank? That's what's fucked up. I had to do it as the greatest host
you
ever.
didn't give me a chance to pop off and say it.
I don't want to see your hairless face.
Normally you segue into it and be like, oh, by the way,
I don't want to see your hairless face.
Hey,
have you drawn on your
I wasn't able to locate the stuff.
Wow.
Unfortunately, apparently they hid it really well. I wasn't able to find any.
Yeah, well,
and apparently I'm not allowed to touch the markers after my
disappointing
moment.
but see right there, Izzy, I didn't even have to segue into it, and I absolutely just crushed that moment right there.
Yes, you did. You did crush it.
So take fucking notes, dude.
Hey,
I don't not pay you for anything.
If you would have asked Vixen to have a mustache on, you would have clicked off 20 seconds later. She'd have been in full fucking.
She went and hatched a fucking chicken during the draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually went back and I don't have a farm over here. Hello. I'm not
either.
Country.
She didn't either. I told her we need a chicken.
She didn't either.
Yeah. I said we'd love to have a baby chicken. She hatched it. She hatched it. She literally pulled a chicken out of her hat. Okay. Literally. Just saying, man.
That's crazy.
The bar's set pretty high. I mean, the bar's set pretty fucking low. Let's be honest.
It's
really low.
Like, it's on the floor. It fell off the brackets, okay? It's on the floor. It's that one shower curtain rod that refuses to stay in place, right, Stank? The one that no one uses, but it always falls. That's how low the bar is.
Try to set it up just right, and it just keeps on falling.
I like it.
Anyway, make sure you guys check us out on loosecannonslive.com. Hit the like button if you have not. And please, for the love of God, just convince your mom to hit the subscribe button for us. It really would help our numbers, and we'd appreciate it a lot. And we'll see you guys maybe later on this week, but definitely next week for the defensive side of our top 50 and the Gerald McCoy conversation that is absolutely going to happen. And maybe it will happen with Gerald McCoy.
You said that like Trump a little bit. It's absolutely going
to happen. It's going to happen. Absolutely.
The best phenomenal list. Absolutely great guys. Very good. Absolute great.
I do the hands.
Fuck off. Go Bucs.
It's kickoff, set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs to win. Whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real.